Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another beautiful day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Colleen Waterston. She is the founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she is here to explore the significance of organizing in enhancing our quality of life. Colleen is passionate about helping homeowners aging in place, as well as families who need to sift through belongings after a life transition. Drawing from personal and client stories, she will discuss how her interventions serve as a compassionate guide through difficult moments surrounding possessions and how creating organized spaces can lead to improved mental clarity and peace of mind. Who doesn't want that? You'll enjoy listening to my conversation today with Colleen Waterston. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows, and we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, including YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there's two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show engineer, Patrick, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry. If you missed our contact numbers, I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I'm so excited to have Colleen on the show here. She is also hosting a show on AM 950 Radio, and it's on Sundays at noon. So you're just on 24 hours after I am.
Yeah. Yeah, we're the weekend mid-spot.
Right.
Yes.
The great weekend group here. And anyway, just to remind people, Colleen Waterston is the founder of Space by Space Organizing. Welcome to the show, Colleen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, okay. So people love to learn about the guests. So tell us a bit about your background.
Well,
where were you born?
Minneapolis, Abbott Northwestern Hospital,
I'm Minnesotan.
October 30th, 1986 at 3:43 a.m. if I'm right. Yeah, born and raised in Minnesota, but I've traveled a lot. So my mom had a job with Delta that she got when I was in college, and I was able to use Delta standby benefits a lot. I've loved to travel and explore, and I've loved to always come home to Minnesota. So very connected to Minnesota, but you know, you say background, and I think I'll just take it a different direction for you than I usually go. But 10 years ago, I traveled around the world. It was a separate project I created. I called it Big Shared World. I traveled around the world, and I asked everyone the same 3 questions. And one of my questions was, what does a good life mean to you? Then I asked, what's the biggest threat to humanity today, and what do you think the world will be like 50 years from now? But I went to 40 countries, and I asked over 750 people, what does a good life mean to you? And then I came home. I've worked on a book about it for a while, and I kind of put that aside. I got a job during COVID working at the Container Store, really reconnected with my love of organizing and making sense of space. And then started working for somebody else who had an organizing business here and learned how to go in and out of people's homes and kind of help transform a space in a little bit of time. And then I started my own business about 3.5 years ago. And I think that it's kind of that full circle of what does a good life mean to you? Because every client that I go into their home and I help to figure out, we have unique goals for every person that we connect with and every client that we have. But it's like, how can I help that person make a good life? Like what does a good life mean to them? What are the relationships that they want to be able to foster within the walls of their home? And I find that a lot of times our stuff, especially in the US, where we seem to amass a lot of stuff, I've traveled a lot and I feel like we have the most. It doesn't mean we have the best, but we sure like to have a lot. And that really stresses people out. Like collectively, the stress of our stuff, we are also pretty lonely people. We're pretty overwhelmed people. And I find that our stuff is a barrier to better relationships with our family. It keeps us, we're late because we can't find something. We're not having that quality conversation at the dinner table because we don't have a dinner table that's clear to sit at. We aren't inviting our friends over. Like we love to host and we want to be able to sit on the couch with our friends, but we're so embarrassed by our homes, So it's like these things that what does a good life mean to you? No one's saying, some people talk about having a big house and having, material things. But most people that I would ask around the world, and I started in the United States with that project, but it's about the relationships and it's about being important and being of value to others and having people of value to them. And so I think that is part of what really informs my values. And when I go into someone's house, like I'm going to leave it looking a lot better than I left it. And there might be some Instagram worthy pictures along the way, but I'm really there to help you achieve your life goals, your better family dinners. I want to help you be able to invite your friends over. And with transitions and we can get into that with helping people who are maybe closer to the end of their life or who have already passed and helping people, sort through somebody's life. And my show is called Sorting Through Life because it is about sorting through stuff. But when I'm in someone's house as a home organizer, yeah, it's about the stuff, but there's a lot of stuff under the stuff. And so, I have just a bachelor's degree in psychology, so I can't say, I don't have a master's or a doctorate to be a practitioner of psychology, but my goodness, is our stuff related to psychology.
Oh, totally.
So that's what I get to do every day, that I get to go and I get to serve people in their homes and help them get out of their own way, I say a lot. But that's really what guides me and what motivates me and the transformation that I can make in somebody's life by showing up and figuring out what I can do for them specifically and my team and how we can help, take something that seems so overwhelming to tackle and be like, got it. It might take a few weeks. It might take a few months. I had a client I do a monthly series called Behind Closed Drawers on my show where I bring a client and have them talk about it. And I had a client on that I've been in her home substantially about once a year for the past 3 years. And it's budget, it's time, it's figuring out the best way to kind of work on something, let them live with that, come back and work on the next thing. But it's a really fun process. It's intimate. It's transformative. I love to do what I'm doing. I'm very happy to be, they say if you find something that you love to do, you're not really working. I'm working all the time. Yeah, I'm working very hard on behalf of other people, but I delight in the fact that this is what I'm working at. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I love the question, what does a good life mean to you?
What does a good life mean to you?
For me, it's working with amazing people in my profession. I mean, the relationships I have, well, we help people. I mean, my team stands beside people that are facing death.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most profound work I have ever run across. And I've thrown this question out so many times. Is there something more meaningful, maybe your stuff, that's more meaningful than literally walking alongside somebody who is facing death? And I mean, there's a quote that says, we're all just walking each other home.
Ooh,
and as soon as we recognize that, boy, it takes the pressure off. You just can love people.
Yes.
And there's just, you're so compassionate, you're empathetic, you want the best for them, and I see that in you.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, the music's going to cue us
Thank you.
out here.
Yeah, I'm like, I got a story, but I think that we're getting run off.
Right,
so
right.
We'll get back to the next
Patrick's
story.
going to keep us on cue.
Yeah, thanks,
All right.
Patrick.
It's time for a short break, everyone. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Colleen Waterston, founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she's here sharing how the significance of organizing can enhance our quality of life. If you have a question for Colleen, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, I'm Mary T. Caring for others runs deep in my family. My grandmother, Rosa, was a nurse who cared for people in their homes more than a century ago. Inspired by her compassion, my mother, Margaret, and I founded the Mary T. family of companies nearly 50 years ago. Today, we continue that legacy across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Arizona, providing senior living, assisted living with memory care, home health, hospice care, rental housing, and support for people with disabilities. Each service is personal, creative, and focuses on the unique needs of those we serve. We also believe in joy and community, which is why we opened Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley, a place to celebrate life with music, laughter, and connection. At Mary T., we're proud to be a Minnesota family company rooted in compassion, inclusion, and respect, and proud supporters of AM 950 and the values that this station represents. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more.
Congratulations to Mary T., named one of the most admired CEOs of 2026 by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal.
Get a head start in your summer reading. The locally owned Next Chapter Booksellers has an expansive collection that includes the latest bestsellers, classic novels, and more. The friendly staff is great at making recommendations for just about anyone. And with holidays, birthdays, and graduations coming up, a book, game, or puzzle from Next Chapter Booksellers makes the perfect gift. Plus, Next Chapter Booksellers hosts events like author signings and book clubs. So stop in and browse the store off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
right, welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Colleen Waterston. She is the founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she is here sharing how the significance of organizing can enhance your quality of life and give you peace of mind. And again, who doesn't want that? Colleen, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Our website is a great starting point, www.spacebyspaceorganizing.com. And they can call or text me at 612-747-1331. So if you go to our website, you can fill out a quick questionnaire. That's really helpful for us so that we can kind of get you in our system, our client relations system especially, and then you can schedule a quick discovery call that would be with Laura. So she's able to field what you need and prepare me. And ultimately, the next step is for me to go to someone's home and do a consultation, because the consultation is really, like the sales meeting, but it's me understanding everything. Me walking into your home, meeting you, making sure that we jive. I've had very few, maybe 2 consults not turn into jobs, and it was really a person didn't want to get organized. It's like
They weren't ready yet.
Yeah, they're like, I actually like all my stuff. I had a woman with a craft room, and she said she could make something from a gum wrapper, and I thought, I don't know if I'm her gal, because I'm gonna encourage throwing away the gum wrappers, given the space that we're in, unless I see a gum wrapper project already underway that's pretty impressive, I might say, let's focus on what you're doing. But that was an extreme. So I go into someone's house, I get to know them, I get to know the space, and then I come up with a scope of work and a plan of action based on that space. And this is where hiring a professional, a lot of times when people try to tackle something themselves, like maybe a kitchen, they pull everything out and they're like, okay, I'm going to put it back together. But they didn't have enough space for everything anyway. And so when I'm at the consults, I'm actually looking around the whole house to figure out, oh my goodness, your utility room has so much extra space for me to put a shelf down here and take those used once a year appliances. And so I can't build you 2 new upper cabinets. Even if we declutter 30% of what's up here, I actually need 40% more space. I'm not a numbers gal, but I talk in percentages sometimes. But if we can bring 20% of what's here down to the basement, then we can really make your kitchen what you want it. But I have to do that basement work before I can do the kitchen work.
Right.
And so people often don't think of their house as like a system that serves them. But I come in and figure out, how can I make your house function better? So then we do the work. So I can tell you, kind of what the work looks like. So this week I have 3 very different clients, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday I'm going to a client who I go to every Monday for 4 hours. We call this client like a legacy lifting client. She's a woman in her 80s. She is aging in place, and her husband has passed. He was in memory care for a couple years before, and now she's comfortably at her home, but there's an awareness that there's a lot of stuff to deal with. Mobility is not the greatest. And so we're actually bringing things. So I'll work with her, and then my team, like Alicia, comes with me and brings stuff to us from the different floors. And so we'll tackle a little bit of space a day. We'll tackle one set of files and maybe gardening supplies, and it's at a pace like we could move a lot faster, but that's a really good pace for her. Right. And it feels good, and she sees progress, and we take the trash away and we take the donations away. We've been reselling some stuff. Her husband had a really cool collection of cowboy boots and boots. So we do a profit share, and we've been putting all of those have been selling, and then she gets to hear the stories of people buying them, and that's even helping pay for some of the cost of doing this. Sure. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we're going to a family's home. They've been living in it for 25 years. There were 3 kids under the same roof. Now there's 2, but a partner's moving in, and the basement is just overwhelming with it's been a dumping ground, and now they want that to be the new living space for the son and partner. And it's a lot. There's some neurodivergence involved. It's everybody's busy, everybody's working. There's a lot of hobbies, a lot of art, a lot of hobbies in the mix. And so that is a whole new beast to tackle, a way different pace than Monday, right? And I mean, we'll be doing a lot of donations and a lot of dumping, but also really making space nice to create art spaces. Okay, to create a space you can do all these puzzles and still have dinner on the kitchen table. So the dad will be incredibly involved, and we've got that set up for 3 weeks. Every Tuesday, the next 3 weeks, we're doing that job. And I believe that within 3 weeks, we'll do something for them that they haven't been able to see for years, because it becomes overwhelming, and you just live with the tunnel vision of getting what you need, going to where you need in the house, and being like, I can't even deal with that. But I often say, like, we have human hours, so it might be a 6-hour day, but with 3 of us, that's an 18-hour day, and we're all working. I'm a little drill sergeant-y with compassion in those kind of, moments. I'm holding the vision for what we've got to achieve in that day. And there'll be goals in between. My Monday client, I come back the next week, the couple goals I said, if you want to work on this week, they haven't been, and that's fine. But this one, to accomplish what we need, there'll be goals in between. Yeah. And then Wednesday, I go to a couple who are on the wait list at a senior living community. We've already done an entire day. We really downsized like half her wardrobe, sent a big box to ThreadUp, which is a online consignment that you may or may not make much money, but it's fun to think you could and that people will get your clothes. Then a bunch went to donate locally, and a lot of trash removed. And it's really nice because they're in that waiting moment for senior living, that very annoying, I want to be there.
Right.
But I'm waiting for, every first of the month you get the call, like, still no, and you're like, I just want to be there. So it's this limbo.
Right. And
like a purgatory of where you are and where you eventually are going. And so Wednesday it's books and basement tools is what I'm going, and it's going to be 3 hours, and we're just going to focus on books, knowing that let's only keep the books that you want to bring with you. So that's the kind of work that we do. Totally different every day, and very results oriented in mind.
All right, the music is cueing us out, Colleen.
Sure
It's
is.
time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Colleen Waterston, founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she's here sharing how the significance of organizing can enhance your quality of life. If you have a question for Colleen, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you're listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey, it's Patrick. April showers are coming, and with them, they're bringing big savings all month long from our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. A lot of people out there understandably have held off on having their carpets cleaned during the messy winter season, but now that we're headed into the height of spring cleaning, bookings are going to start to fill up fast, so don't wait. It's time to step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Zero Res can remove winter's buildup in odors, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. So don't wait and don't miss this deal. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119 plus a $599 whole system air duct cleaning. This deal won't last long. Go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Zero Res.
Birthdays are milestones. Birthdays can also be really complicated. The funny and poignant Broadway hit Birthday Candles by Noah Hadel is receiving its area premiere at Sidekick Theater from April 15th through May 17th. Every year, Ernestine bakes a cake and celebrates with her family on her birthday, a delicious ritual that unfolds on stage across 90 years of birthdays as she grows from 17 to 107 years old. Through glimpses of her life as the years go by, Birthday Candles tenderly explores motherhood, family, love, loss, and finding your place in the universe. If you've never been, Sidekick Theater performs at the Minnesota Masonic Heritage Center in Bloomington. There are 3 matinees and 1 evening performance per week. Beautiful theater, free parking, professional actors, and a guaranteed good time. Get tickets by going to sidekicktheater.com, spelled R-E, sidekicktheater.com.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. I've been telling you about Snap Construction, the company AM 950 trusts for all roofing and siding needs. Now that spring is here and summer is around the corner, now is a great time to find out why AM 950 trusts Snap Construction. Ryan, the owner, and his team at Snap Construction have been great to work with, and they have enjoyed working with our listeners.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners at AM 950. What a great group of people and a great radio station. I personally want to thank all the listeners that we've had the opportunity to work with. At Snap Construction, we look forward to working with many more of you when it comes to your roofing, siding, windows, and insulation. Don't just take Chad's word for it. Google Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the Twin Cities metro. We led this community with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate. Call today, 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or visit us online, snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 33, then Sunday clearing with a high of 45. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com. This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Saturday.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Colleen Waterston, founder of Space by Space Organizing, and we're here talking about how important it is to organize your life, and she just really makes a big difference in enhancing your quality of life. And I tell you, it's a big thing to tackle stuff, right? And we were just talking off the air how sometimes things give us the illusion of safety. And in reality, it's becoming a trap. And like you said, it gets in the way of relationships.
Well, you brought up Marie Kondo before, and she's kind of known as the simplifier. You know, does this bring you joy? And much more minimalist. She got into a little trouble when she outed herself as once she had kids, not being able to keep up her minimalist systems as well.
Right.
People are like, well, a lot of us have kids over here, you know.
Right.
But she's great, and she has a KonMari method, and people really revere her and her philosophies. But I say I'm not anti-stuff. I'm anti-stuff getting in the way of your life. Right. And it is true, like stuff really does get in the way of our life. You know, and even on that consult that I was telling you about, the gum wrapper, it came up that there was some family tension and some hard dynamics. And I was like, I get that. That would be hard to have mom hold on to so much. And resentments happen between families, and I see that. And I'm an outsider, and I really genuinely want the best for the people who I interact with, you know, whether I'm in the aisle of home goods or I'm being employed to do a job in your house. You know, I really love life, and I love this interaction. I'm pretty here for it, you know, and I'm pretty present. And so I see when I'm brought into someone's life, I see the role that I can play, and I'll I'll kind of challenge something, or if I see that there's tension among siblings around a parent's stuff, or, I had a family that I've helped. They have 3 living siblings and a sister-in-law, and mom passed, and we call it the H word, but definitely died a hoarder. And there's some tendencies among the family, and I have testimonials from them that I'm going to be making into a video series. They've spoken to my impact, but I'm kind of like cousin Colleen, that they don't know if they want around, but they really like having around. And one of them said, you're so patient. And the brother said, she's not patient, she's just good at deflecting. And, it's like I can bring this dynamic and say things and then also be like, I'm here to do a job.
Right.
And I'm not someone who you just hire for a few hours. I'm someone who I come in, I do that consult, I size it up. And when you get my scope of work, I give you the scope of work of completing the job.
Right.
Crossing you through that finish line. And so I'm not done until I'm done. And when you talk about rates, I'm on an hourly rate, and every job is different. And it's like, how much do you want to tell me the story? How quickly are you willing to release what you don't need here? I ask 3 questions around your stuff. Is it serving you? Would it serve someone you know better? And would it serve someone you don't know best? Just kind of, let's keep it simple. Is it serving you? Great, let's keep it. We'll figure out a place for it. So everybody's different, but it's fun to be that outsider to your stuff. I might have an opinion, but I'm not attached. You're attached. You're mad at yourself for buying that thing and not using it.
Right.
There's all these things. And I don't have that.
A lifetime of dynamics.
A lifetime of dynamics. That's a book title.
I've heard of so many stories, and we can get into some of those here. But we do have a caller from St. Paul. And Patrick, do you want to put Rachel on the air? All right. Rachel, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. Rachel, thank you for calling in from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yes, I'm so excited, Ken. I just love your show.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Colleen. I'm glad you're on the show today. I have a question for you as I'm helping my parents age. And they're still in the house, but I'm wondering, what are some of the biggest organizing mistakes you see that actually make it harder for people to age safely and independently in their homes?
That's a really good question. I think accessibility, so, thinking of the height that things are at, thinking of if somebody's bending down for something. So, my client on Monday that we go, and she's aging in place. And the ideal would be to stay there as long as possible. So when you're in the kitchen, unfortunately, her shelves don't adjust. But, taking out the knobs and changing a shelf height, whether someone's aging or not, that is where people think, I am a genius. And I'm like, it's just 4 pegs coming down. There are some contractors who use these pegs that clip a shelf in. And I would like to have a law that bans those because they are so annoying. If you are an organizer who tries to keep a manicure, good luck, because, you need to kind of push them in to pull them up. And
They're small and stiff.
And that's the kind of thing that might take a while. I'm like, I thought that your kitchen would take 3 hours to adjust the shelves, but I spent the entire day adjusting the shelves because your contractor bought these ridiculous shelf pins. But adjusting a shelf to make things lower and more accessible, so if you think of having to reach and then how heavy something is when they're reaching it. So within this woman's pantry, she's got a lot of paperwork. And also she's always had the paperwork standing upright in folders. And so I brought in some bins that she could take a stack of paperwork within a bin. We labeled it just a sweater size bin. So also and she was a little resistant to the bins, her system has worked. And I'm like, okay, if something happens and you have to leave, which she saw happen to her husband, there was a fall and he never got back in that house, unfortunately. It's like, if someone's doing this on your behalf, they're probably bringing a big bin or a big box. And the likelihood that you're ever going to see these nostalgic cards that people have written you again is low. But if we do it in these bins that are carryable for her, and accessible for her, and it has what it is, that's more likely to move with her, so, and then just totally decluttering and thinking, would this serve someone else better now so that I don't have to take it with me if and when I have to take something with me? Just making life a little smaller and more accessible. You know, I'm not an occupational therapist, but there could be someone that could come in and kind of size up rugs, taking rugs away, you know, tripping things. And also then, like, what stuff could be tripped on easily and removing those things, you know, so kind of anticipating mobility issues and being able to, you know, how low, how far back are things? Turntables, Rachel, like a turntable for everyone. We love turntables. Those are those Lazy Susans, and they come in different sizes and different lips. But like, you put one of those on a bathroom, a cabinet shelf, you know, or a hallway closet, and everything becomes front and center when you turn it. So instead of having to reach far behind. So then that also, if something is a little higher, if it's in the back of a shelf and higher, it's never coming out again. If it's front and center and higher, it can come out. So, you know, having what someone needs close to them. And then saying, okay, even if you want to hang on to these things that you might never use again, we'll just put those at the highest so that you can see them. You know they're there, but it's not in your way. Did that give you a little bit of guidance?
Yeah, I've never thought of having a Lazy Susan outside of the kitchen.
Oh,
versus the corner that.
Oh, yeah, no, I have a Lazy Susan in my fridge. I probably have 20 Lazy Susans in my house. I have laundry, like on a laundry shelf. I have these little specialty detergents. You know, this one's for wool, this one's for swimsuits, and it's on a Lazy Susan. I could do an episode on Lazy Susan functionality.
Okay, I can see why people hire you.
Love a Lazy Susan. Well, thank you, Rachel.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
All right, Rachel. Thanks for calling in. We sure appreciate that.
Sure do.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.
That was fun.
Yeah, but we have such great listeners.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that one of the occupational therapists, because in my profession, we work with therapists a lot. And one thing she mentioned that always stuck with me, she said, Ken, if you view things in a home, like in baseball, you have a strike zone between the knees and the shoulders.
Totally.
That's where people can operate, you know, especially as they get older and maybe a limited range of motion. And just where is your power area? It's from the knees to the shoulders. That's where when you start getting above the shoulders or below the knees, that's when falls can happen. And so anyway, it's interesting. As you're talking about it, I'm just envisioning the strike zone as you look through the house.
Well, and then you can see all the dust that's collected at the lowest and highest levels.
Right.
Because they aren't accessible.
Right. Well, and the other thing is you were saying high and in the back, well, there's no lighting in closets
That's
or in
a
cabinets.
good thing, too. There are really cool lighting options, too, that even just turn on in motion. And so maybe installing some lights.
And they're LED and they're battery powered and they'll last for 30 years. But it's as people age, their eyesight, they need just more light to be able to see. It's just things that we take for granted in our life that as people age, and again, we see it, you see it as you're going through and helping people that are in their 80s, which is a great thing to do, just to lighten up all the things that they have there. And I'm thinking, I look at how many things have been expired in my house, whether it's food that the kids buy and then they never eat. And
the oldest I've seen is the 90s. Jam in the 90s. And then I was clearing a client's front porch the other day, connected to the H word client. And we found a pan still in the wrapping of $49.99, still in the bag that it came in, still with the receipt from 1994 on the front porch amidst a lot of trash, a lot of leaves that were probably just as old as that pan. You're blowing the leaves. And and the fun thing is, like, a lot of people might be like, oh, you have this from 1990. You find humor in it. You have to be able to just say, hey, look at this, and I think that that's what I always try to do too, is I've talked a lot about shame and how much people feel ashamed of how that's kept. And I feel like it is a talent to make sense of stuff, and I have it. And now I leverage it professionally and use it for other people. And then other people can keep systems up. They might just not be good at designing it or they can be helpful, but they might not be good at motivating the entire process.
Right.
But throughout, the most important thing that I think I bring is just empathy and a lack of judgment and being like, it's okay, let's just get through this. Like, let's not get stuck on feeling bad about ourselves.
But there's so much emotions, and we'll get back and we'll talk some more about that here. It's time to take a quick break, everybody. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break and continue our conversation with Colleen Waterston, founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she's here sharing a lot of wisdom on how we can lighten our lives and the significance of organizing and how it can enhance the quality of our lives. If you have a question, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Let's face it, big box corporate brokers are built to serve shareholders, not the consumer, and it's time for a reckoning. At REC, short for the Real Estate Collaborative, we're challenging the status quo. Why pay a percentage of your home's value when you can have ethical, flat dollar commissions? From full service support to DIY options for buyers and sellers, we put you at the center of the transaction. And when we aren't helping you move, we're working toward housing justice for all. Because at the Real Estate Collaborative, we believe that to defeat the systems we don't like, we have to build ones we do. Join the movement at therecolab.com. That's THERE as in real estate, COLLAB.com. Or call 651-412-3765. And we invite you to tune in to Reckoning with Real Estate every Sunday at 11 a.m. on AM 950. Or listen on demand wherever you get your podcasts. At REC, we're radically reimagining real estate. We hope you'll join us.
Hey, Francois, where are we going and why do you have so many canvas bags?
Salut, Laura. On y va chez Nicolette's Macarons.
Oh, I've never been to Nicolette's store. They're just off Highway 169 and 36th in Plymouth.
Oui, ils ont 16 saveurs de macarons là.
They have 16 flavors of macaroons at the store. That's why you have so many canvas bags. I love how Nicolette supports small food entrepreneurs. Let's hurry. They're open afternoons, Wednesday through Friday, and midday on Saturdays.
Nicolette, c'est génial. Allons-y.
Let's go.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
At Big Hill Books, the story starts with Beth. She left a corporate communications career and, maybe by fate, became an independent bookstore owner. She loves historical fiction and devours mysteries and thrillers. She's a proud progressive, feminist, and LGBTQ+ ally. She just launched Best Book Club starting May 3rd with Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. Big Hill Books isn't owned by a corporation. It's owned by a reader, and that changes everything. Big Hill Books. Read, think, grow.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Colleen Waterston. She is the founder of Space by Space Organizing, and she is here sharing how the significance of organizing can enhance our quality of life. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Colleen, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Lots of information is on our website, spacebyspaceorganizing.com. Call, text, reach out at 612-747-1331. You can sign up in our contact form on our website to have Laura do a phone call with you. You can share some information about what you need support with. Every client is different, so there's no like drop in and insert an exact way here. But when you sign up through our website, then we're able to kind of onboard you and keep you in our system correctly so that we can make sure that we schedule you appropriately, you know, and send your scope of work. But yeah, spacebyspaceorganizing.com, 612-747-1331. And reaching out to us does not mean, you know, you might not need us right away. You might just be asking some questions. You know, it's no obligation. The consultation is really, I go to that pretty much knowing that we're going to work together, that you're ready and you're wanting this and this feels right to you, because then I'm going in, I start working when I'm on the consultation, but that's complimentary, and then it informs the work that we're going to do. So then we have an hourly rate when we're actually in your home, and then we have a project management fee on top of that that's a percentage, and that takes we're going to do your donations, we're going to take as much trash as we can, we're going to do your hazardous waste, we're going to potentially support some reselling, that we've got, you know, a team in place that's going to make those hours that we're in your home, which are fun, but it's also whether you're somebody who is living in your house and you just want a better system, or you're downsizing and moving, it's still disruptive to have people in your home. So we want to make those feel seamless. And, you know, if I'm coming and reorganizing your entire kitchen, I might be bringing a carload of product that I know is perfect for your space to be able to put everything back better. So you had asked about our process, and the process is on the website as well. But so after that consultation, when we come in, the first thing we do is, and the scope of work has identified the order that we're going to do things in. So what we do is we pull everything out of the space that we're organizing, and usually everything. And we've gotten really good at knowing how much we can accomplish in a day so that we're not over pulling out what we can't put back in. But compartmentalizing a space in your home, space by space organizing. This is not all at once organizing. You know, it's space by space.
Stages, yeah.
Pulling it out, sorting it all by kind. And this is where I don't really want you around, because respectfully, you weren't able to do it on your own. And so you hired me to do it. And our sort, we're usually not talking. We're usually heads down, putting things like by like. And then I want you to come in. So the big sort, we've pulled everything out. We've maybe vacuumed the shelves, done a little vinegar water wipe down. And then it's like you're moving back in, right? And then we want you for the big evaluation. You know, I need to know your relationship to every item. And that's where if you tell me it's trash, it goes in a trash bag. And I don't assume anything's trash. I don't want to throw away that last note that your dad wrote you that looks like a scribble, but by goodness, it means so much. So I'm very hesitant when it comes to that is trash. The other day, a client said everything in those boxes, that was from my husband's office 10 years ago. This is a really cool story. It can all go. And I said, well, I don't really throw away people's trash, so we're going to bring it up. So I bought these basic laundry bins to be bringing things to the main floor to just go through a load and a load. We had 5 laundry bins to go through. There was a gift card from 112 Eatery, a restaurant downtown that I am like throwing all my support behind. $500, expired in 2014, handwritten. And I was like, whoa. And there were $250 of Barnes & Noble gift cards that clients had given it.
Sure.
It's a realtor. Right. And thank you, you know. I was like, oh. And the woman was like, oh, bummer, you know. Right. That's a bummer. I emailed 112 Eatery. Yeah. And I said, hey, long shot, I know. I explained the story. I was like, it was dumped and forgotten. Is there any chance, you know, you'd honor it? They are.
Oh, my
So
gosh,
I printed off that email exchange, brought it back with the gift card because I'd sent a picture of it, and then her son can go in and actually use it. And it was just like, that's not trash. But someone might have thought, oh, gosh, sorry, this expired in 2014. Sure. But I was like, I'm just going to try. Yeah. You know, and that's the fun stuff I get to do is by uncovering things one by one. I mean, that almost paid for my day, you know,
sure,
like
right.
finding that. So during the sort, we really one by one everything, because then the big rearrange, we're putting everything back. But the feeling that people have when they know that everything that they have in that space is what they want, and that there's not just a box of deal with me later, and that it's tidy and there's order and likely labels, because organizers love labels. It's then we say there's the big sigh of relief. And so including a client at different times, and also that's what's really fun too, like enjoy the service you're hiring. You know, like when in your life do you get to offload adulting to someone else? You know, there's very few people who have enough affluence that someone else pays all their bills and manages everything for them and does their laundry. You know, we have so much to do that goes into adulting, but bringing someone order in a space, like that's something you can hire. And then my clients, like, I'm not a maintenance. I'm not coming back in every 2 weeks to put your stuff away. I'm creating a system that when I come back a year later, I'm not doing that again. It's still going. It's still, you're still managing it. And now we're going to do a different part of your house, you know, that doesn't, you know, I like to do all the parts that play with each other, because if you don't, it's just going to create more clutter if you don't tackle the entire system. And that's where the consult, like I really need to recognize where rooms are in relation to each other. I say, don't clean up. If you clean up for me, I can't see your bad habits. You know, I have to know that you drop everything here, that your kid drops, you know, I have to see
There's
these
a certain
things.
vulnerability, though, to have you come in, which is what you need to do.
I know, but I'm friendly. I'm nice. I've got my own weaknesses, too. You know, I'm human. So I'll tell you everything wrong with me as much as I'll tell you everything right. How is it over?
It's already over. Colleen, you got to come back. We got so much more to talk about.
Tell me when.
All right. Well, I want to thank Colleen Waterston, founder of Space by Space Organizing, for being here to share how the significance of organizing can enhance your quality of life and de-stress. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us for any questions and comments you may have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health, your life, and until next time, choose to live well.
Tell you so.